Things secure people do. When an avoidant pulls away, most people get this completely wrong. When an avoidant partner pulls away, most people immediately feel panic, confusion, and an overwhelming urge to fix the distance as quickly as possible. They start sending more messages, seeking more reassurance, asking more questions, and trying harder to reconnect before the relationship slips further away. But secure people respond very differently when they notice an avoidant creating emotional space. Instead of reacting from fear, they respond from self-respect, emotional stability, and a deep understanding that connection cannot be forced. The first thing secure people do when an avoidant pulls away is that they resist the urge to chase or pursue excessively. They understand that emotional pursuit rarely creates genuine closeness when someone is already feeling overwhelmed by intimacy or pressure. Instead of desperately trying to pull the avoidant back, they allow the other person to experience the consequences of their own distance. This doesn't come from anger, pride, or manipulation. It comes from the understanding that healthy relationships require two willing participants, not one person constantly carrying the entire emotional burden. The second thing secure people do is that they stay connected to their own lives instead of making the avoidance behavior the center of their world. While many people become consumed by thoughts, fears, and endless analysis when an avoidant withdraws, secure individuals continue investing in their friendships, goals, hobbies, work, and personal growth. They understand that their happiness cannot depend entirely on whether another person is feeling emotionally available on any given day. As a result, their emotional stability remains largely intact even when the relationship experiences temporary distance. Another thing secure people do is that they avoid taking every withdrawal personally. This is one of the hardest lessons for many people to learn because an avoidance distance can often feel like rejection. But secure individuals recognize that avoidant behavior is usually connected to the avoidant's own fears, emotional patterns, and discomfort with vulnerability. Rather than immediately assuming they are unlovable or inadequate, they remind themselves that another person's attachment style is not a reflection of their worth. Secure people also pay close attention to patterns instead of isolated incidents. They understand that everyone occasionally needs space, time to think, or room to process emotions. What matters is not one day of distance or one difficult week. What matters is whether withdrawal has become a consistent pattern that prevents emotional intimacy and healthy connection from developing over time. By focusing on patterns rather than isolated moments, they make better decisions and avoid unnecessary emotional reactions. When an avoidant pulls away, secure people communicate clearly without becoming emotionally demanding. They might calmly express their observations and feelings without blaming, criticizing, or pressuring the other person. They are able to say things like, "I've noticed some distance lately, and I'd like to understand what's going on," without turning the conversation into an emotional confrontation. This creates an environment where honest communication becomes possible instead of triggering more defensiveness and withdrawal. Another important thing secure people do is maintain their boundaries even when they care deeply about someone. They understand that love without boundaries often becomes self-sacrifice. If an avoidant repeatedly disappears, avoids accountability, or refuses to participate in the relationship, secure individuals do not endlessly tolerate behavior that hurts them. They recognize that understanding someone's struggles does not require accepting treatment that consistently damages their emotional well-being. Secure people also avoid trying to become more attractive by abandoning their own needs. Many people mistakenly believe that if they become less emotional, ask for less, and expect less, the avoidant will finally stay close. But secure individuals understand that suppressing their needs does not create a healthy relationship. It only creates a version of themselves that feels increasingly disconnected, resentful, and emotionally exhausted over time. One of the most powerful things secure people do is trust actions more than promises. They pay attention to what the avoidant consistently does rather than becoming trapped by words, excuses, or future promises. If someone says they want closeness but continually creates distance, secure people focus on the behavior rather than the explanation. This helps them remain grounded in reality instead of becoming trapped in hope and potential. Perhaps most importantly, secure people remain willing to walk away if necessary. This doesn't mean they give up at the first sign of difficulty. It means they understand that no relationship should require them to abandon their dignity, self-respect, or emotional health. They know that love should involve mutual effort, mutual care, and mutual responsibility. And if those things are consistently absent, they are willing to accept reality rather than endlessly fighting against it. The biggest difference between secure people and everyone else is not that secure people never feel hurt when an avoidant pulls away. They absolutely do feel disappointment, sadness, and uncertainty, just like anyone else. The difference is that they don't allow those emotions to control their behavior. They don't let fear convince them to chase someone who is creating distance. They don't let anxiety destroy their self-worth, and they don't sacrifice themselves in an attempt to earn love that should be given freely. Because secure people understand a truth that many never learn. When an avoidant pulls away, your job is not to pull them back at any cost. Your job is to remain grounded, maintain your self-respect, communicate clearly, and observe what happens next. And sometimes, the strongest response to distance is not chasing harder. It's showing that your emotional stability does not disappear simply because someone else has chosen to step back.